The text page, believe it or not, allows you to add text to your video. There are a bunch of preset sizes that are good to use as a starting point, as well as some presets if you want something with a reasonably finished layout quickly. In my sales video, I of course want text. I want a nice name and presentation text at the beginning and a clarifying text in the middle. This preset that says never give up looks nice to me, so I click on it. If you like something else better, choose that one instead. You can move it by simply clicking and dragging it to a more suitable location. I put mine on the left. Click anywhere outside the text to deselect, and then on one of the texts to work with it specifically. In my case, work hard. Then you simply enter the text you want. I want my name to be in the vertical part, so I type it in. Longer text can mean line breaks, but that's easy to fix by adjusting the text box like this. How much text fits the template varies a little. The template probably has more text blocks, so continue in the same way until you have replaced all the text with your own. Adjust the size of the text so they look nice in the layout. Now I'm happy with my layout. You can adjust all the text boxes individually if, for example, you want to resize them all, but a smarter way to go is to group them. You do this by holding down the Shift key on the keyboard and clicking on both objects one after the other, either on the timeline or in the display window, and then clicking on the group icon. Then it instead becomes one object that is a little easier to move and resize. Now you may see a problem with my text here. White text against a white background does not provide the best readability. I can change the color of the text. Click on the same icon again, which is now called Ungroup. You can select the white text and change it to another color with the color picker. With the eyedropper, you easily pick up a color from your video for a uniform feel in your video. Group them again. There are nice start and end animations in AI Studio. With the group selected, select Animation and then a start animation and an end animation. Take a quick look at how it turned out by pressing the play button by the viewing window. These animations can be added to any item in the timeline. By default, the text remains throughout your full scene, but that may not be what you want. After all, the viewer has finished reading it after a few seconds. You can change that by just grabbing the right edge of your group layer here and drag it to the part of the timeline where you think it should disappear. 5-6 seconds feels reasonable, so I recommend placing the player's head there and dragging the end point of the group there. This is how it turned out in my example. You will probably want to add more text to your videos, and you can actually combine text with graphic objects in HeyGen. Add a title a little further on in your video. You will see a new layer is created with a new item on the timeline. Enter any other text you want and change the font to something you like. To add a graphic object, move on to the next icon, Element. Here you will find lots of graphic elements you can include in your videos. Feel free to explore these galleries to get some ideas for things you could use in your videos. Under Frame, I find a speech bubble that I like. I click on it to add it to my scene. Now the problem arises that it appears in front of the text when you want it to be behind. Either you can change the order of them in the timeline, or you can select the text, click the Change Layer button and choose Bring to Front. Then adjust the text as you want it. To lay out your video image, group the text with the graphics, move and adjust the size if necessary. It's also nice if you add animations so that the group comes in and out similar to your first text. Having a consistent graphic thread throughout your video increases production value. On the element page, you will also find some pieces of music that you can use in your videos. Background music makes your video a more enjoyable experience for the viewer. You can only have one piece of music per scene, but there is the option to stretch your music track so that it runs over several scenes. To change the volume of the clip, click the 3 small dots at the end of the audio track and change the volume percentage. Listen and judge the balance in volume between voice and music. Rather too low music volume than too loud as it distracts from the speech.